Hi there, I'm Amy,
And I'm Sue.
and we're the mother-daughter duo behind Chatter Matters.
Each week, we're going to be chatting through everyday challenges and how we navigate them as two women from different generations.
So get yourself comfy, grab your cup of tea or coffee, and let us show you why Chatter Matters.
Welcome to episode 1.
Welcome.
Well, we thought we'd start off by just probably giving you a little bit more information about us and to explain why we decided that we'd start a podcast, which we're both pretty excited about doing.
Who's giving these ladies microphones? Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, both of us are going through a significant transition, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is and in a little while. But we thought it might be really useful just to track our journey. We've always spoken a lot as mum and daughter about our lives, and we thought, well, why not record it, and maybe it'll be useful for other people too.
Here's hoping. Yeah, I think you and I have always chatted about anything and everything, and I think it's always come as a surprise to me when I talk to my friends, and I'm going, oh, and I was telling my mum this and I was telling my mum that, and they turn around and go, what? You're telling your mum that much detail of what goes on in your life? Mm-hmm. And I've always been so shocked that my friends don't share more. So I guess this was just our way of sharing the way that we are with each other, the kind of relationship we have. And then as you were saying, as we go through this transition period, how does it change or how does it stay the same? And how are we tackling that shift in dynamic as we go forwards?
And we've always had a close relationship, but I think particularly in the last 3 years, probably, it's been closer. I divorced from your dad at a time when you went off to university. But then when you came back from uni, you and I decided to live together. Yeah. So it's just been you and me.
It has for a while. I think, you're entering this season of being an empty nester soon because, as you said, when you and dad divorced, I also went off to uni at the same time. And then I decided to move back home in my final year of university, partly due to COVID, partly due to some other reasons that were going on. But even whilst I was at university, my brother was still living at home with you. So when I then moved back in, he then moved out, and we moved house completely. We moved out of my childhood home. And I think it was quite a conscious decision for us to be roommates as well as to be mother and daughter. So I think the past sort of 3-4 years, we've gone on a bit of a shift of moving from that kind of parent-child teaching type relationship to actually how do we share a space together really intentionally? How do we be in each other's lives now that I'm also working? So I think we've had a big shift over the past 4 years, and we're about to enter another shift again as I move out and we look at life where we're not living together.
And we've always been quite intentional about those changes and talked about how we want to be with each other and, and discussed what works, what doesn't work. So I guess this is an opportunity for us to have that conversation again and kind of work out what we want to do and how we want to do it. And I don't know if you want to just share a little bit more about what's actually changing for you so everyone gets to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, so I am moving out. I think that's my biggest upcoming change. And I'm also going to be buying a flat, which is very exciting and very cool that I'm able to do that. I've got I don't even know if it doesn't count as a new job anymore. I was about to be like, I have a new job. It feels like a new job sometimes, but I've been doing this current job for around 8 months or so, 8-9 months now, which is really busy and means I've got lots of plates spinning at all times. And I'm back in the dating scene in full flow. So I think there's a lot going on for me beyond just leaving. I've got a very busy work life. I've got quite a busy personal life. Plus trying to learn how to live on my own again is an interesting time.
How are you feeling about it, Ames?
Excited. That's definitely the first emotion that comes out when you ask that question. I think I'm a bit nervous. I I think, you know, the buying process in and of itself is alien to me. And in England, it's quite complicated as well. So I have moments where I just feel a bit out of my depth with that. And I'm a bit nervous to be living by myself. I think there's, you know, I have lived out of home at university, but I think at university it's a very different scenario because, you know, I always used to talk about it being, I was like playing dress up as an adult at university, whereas now this is real legitimate life. So I'm a bit nervous, but I think that's just because it signals a big change.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm not excited for it and not ready for it, just that it's going to be a change.
Yeah, I think you're ready for it. I think it's the next step in you, I don't know, kind of growing up. You talk about adulting, don't you? Yeah. It's like, I think you're ready for that next step. And I think it's right for us as well in terms of our relationship, that I think you need to go and stand on your own 2 feet, and for mum not to be the backstop.
Well, and also mum not to be dealing with my mess.
That's very true. That will be one benefit of you moving out. But I also, you know, I'm hoping that our relationship, you know, it'll evolve.
Yeah.
But I hope we won't lose the kind of closeness. And I guess that's the thing that we're going to need to, you know, sort of work through.
Absolutely. And then if I've done a little intro into what's changing for me, Mum, why don't you do a little intro into potentially then what's changing for you?
Well, I'm, you know, divorced. I've been single for the last 5 years. And so Amy's been very much my company in our house as we've lived together. And I think I'm realizing that, you know, once you go, you know, I'm going to have a lot of empty evenings. It'll be me and the dog. So
Marty is the favourite child. He 100% is.
He's our 10-year-old border terrier.
Who is currently curled up at Mum's feet as well, really quite adorably.
Yeah, he's always near me. But I can't keep talking to just Marty. I think I need, I think I might need a little bit more adult company. And of course, I get a lot of adult interaction through the work that I do. But there's something about, you know, going on walks with somebody else, or being able to go on holiday with somebody else, or just kind of, you know, just sharing challenges and problems with. And of course, I can still do that with you and your brother, but equally, I don't think you want your mum hanging on your coattails the whole time. So I think it's going to force me to, you know, really think about, am I ready to date, which I haven't done for the last 5 years. I've been very much kind of nesting, building my own home. It's the first time I've had my own space. And I've not wanted to date really. And you definitely fill that gap of companionship, and your good company. And I love the way that, you know, we talk about our work, and I don't really need anybody else. But I think that will be a gap that will open up once you move out. So I'm quite mindful of that, and thinking about what that will be like to be an empty nester.
I'm excited for you. I feel like, I know we talk about whether I'm ready to move out or not, but I feel like you're also ready for me to move out, even though I think it might be a little scary for you sometimes.
I've been getting my head around it. I mean, this is, you know, you've been trying to buy, you know, your flat for a number of months now, and my garage is now full of all of the bits of furniture that needs to go to your flat, and the buying process has been frustrating for you. So, you know, hopefully it's a matter of weeks away.
Touch wood.
But you know, but I think the length of time that it's taken has also allowed me to sort of get adjusted, and I'm, you know, thinking about how I will be on my own here. So I think I'm ready. I'm not sure how easy it will be until it actually happens, but I think I'm more ready now than I was.
That's good. I think that's good. And I think, you know, if I think back to the beginning of this year, because you and I had a big conversation around reflecting on last year, and then what does this year look like? And I think 2025 is a big year for both of us. Just in the step change, I think, that it represents in our sort of little family dynamic. And so for me, you know, Mum challenged me to come up with a word that described what my year was going to look like. And I came up with foundations or building or something like that, because it really does feel like this year is I'm teeing up the rest of my 20s and my 30s. I'm teeing up what does adult life look like for me? You know, and so I think I'm excited, but then it also just suddenly it at times can feel really big. But I think it's also a little bit of foundations for you of what does life look like without your kids in your home. But I think what you've done so well is create such a safe space here for us both to come back to, me and my brother. Which I really, really love.
Yeah, and I definitely, when I was buying it, it was with a sort of multi-generational kind of lens on it, you know, of like, will it work for you and I now? Will it work for hopefully when you know, maybe you start your own families and, you know, so we'll see. But I'm also excited for you in your flat because I think it will give you space to have your creative flair. It's slightly restricted with just your own bedroom at the moment.
Yes, I am. I've got Pinterest boards galore at the moment for each room and such a vision of what I want to do. And I cannot wait to actually get in. I'm sure I'm going to be horrified about the cost of a tin of paint, but like it's all a learning curve. It's all a learning curve, but we got to get there eventually.
And I'm sure we'll all be pitching in and helping.
Thanks.
So given that as a change for both of us that we're going to be going through, we talked earlier on about being very intentional about that kind of transition. So what do you think will change for us, and how do you think we're going to need to adjust in terms of our relationship?
I'll get to what changes in a second, because I think what's really important for both of us is what isn't changing is that we will continue to talk to each other all the time, and the quality of conversations that we have isn't going to change. I think what will change is that face-to-face contact, and what does that look like? But I'm still going to be, phoning you every day after work. I have quite a long commute at the moment. So when I'm in the office, it's part of my routine as I'm walking out of those front doors, I'm ringing mum to give her a debrief of, what's happened today and who said what and what have I had to deal with and what calls have I had. And, I don't see the support that we provide each other changing in the way it feels. But I do think it will change in the way it looks, in a sense of it will probably be a lot more phone calls. Whereas right now, I finish working from home and I come downstairs and we put the kettle on and we sit down and we have a chat. So I think for us, it will be, how do we adjust to a different cadence of face-to-face time? And then what does that look like? And
also, how do we keep it sort of natural? I don't want it to be the, Sunday lunch.
Yes.
We have to be together. I always remember in my family, we always used to see my nan and granddad every Sunday, It was kind of like the ritual. And I would like us to be a bit more spontaneous and I think you've talked before about it just feeling natural.
Yeah.
And
just doing the everyday together, I think it's not just reserving seeing each other at the weekends. Like if you fancy coming over for dinner on a Wednesday, or I fancy coming and working from home on Friday and then going to the gym in the evenings and seeing my mates there and that kind of thing. So I think you're right. I think it's not always being an event.
Yes.
To see each other, which I don't think we will get sucked into, because you and I genuinely enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love you ringing at the end of work. I mean, both of us are have been in the corporate world, and I'm doing less of it now, but I absolutely love watching your career and supporting you doing what you're doing now. And so I would very much hope that you would carry on speaking to me at the end of your day, because I love being close to what you're up to. So that bit I would really want to stay. And then, I think we're just going to need to find our cadence with that face-to-face stuff. I think I'm going to need to get better at asking you what I might need.
Yeah.
Because you're very good at...
I'm very demanding. She's dancing around the edges, but I'm very demanding. I'm very good at going, no, I need you, and I need you right now.
And of course, I always want to be there too. I'm less demanding, and kind of still play a bit more of that mother role, of kind of just being there for you. But I think you might also need to be there for me at times, and I probably need to be a little bit more demanding of needing your space.
Yeah.
For me, not just me to give to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, not me always socializing with you when it's right for me. You know, being conscious of the sort of two-way street of the relationship.
So I guess that, you know, we've talked about us being intentional about the change, and, you know, and something that we need to keep, you know, talking to, and we would love to keep sharing our experience of going through this change, and you know, so we'll keep giving you updates as we kind of go along. Anything else that you think we need to work out together in terms of the transition?
Good question. I think less so maybe working out together, but more I just think for both of us living by ourselves, I think it's both of us, I think, are going to go on a bit of a journey of like, how does that feel? How do I make that work for me? I mean, I'm very excited to be living by myself, because whilst I'm very chatty and bubbly and confident and can chat your ear off, I'm very naturally an introvert. And I really do recharge when I'm by myself. And, you know, I would say I recharge by myself. I don't get drained by many one-on-one interactions, but it's those big groups or just being out and about in the world that I can find a little draining. So I think there's something around, I'm really excited because I think my social life will benefit from me being by myself, because I think at the moment I've got your company 24/7 if I want it, you know, and I think that's a similar case for you, where I think we both, because we get on as well as we do, and we genuinely like truly enjoy each other's company and feel so comfortable around each other, there's something around breaking that, not breaking, it's the stepping out of the comfort zone that I think both of us living on our own is going to like force us to do. So I think my social life and my friendships will actually really benefit from it, because at the moment it's so easy for me to be like, oh no, like I'm not going to do that plan, because it feels like more effort than I could just stay at home and just chat to you. So I'm excited for that, but I think, yeah, it's just a change in the way that I approach life potentially, which living by myself will kickstart.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I mean, I think, you know, I talked about dating earlier on, but there's also something about me being intentional about just girlfriends. And I've never been, because I've always been so busy with my career and being a mum, I've never really created space to have girlfriends. And I've moved a lot, you know, and from my childhood, you know, Dad was in the army and we moved all the time. And so I'm not very good at creating friendships and holding on to them. You're much better at that than I am. But I think I would like to, you know, I don't see myself leaving the house that I'm in now. So therefore the friendships that I make now, I hope will be for the next 20 years. Yeah. So yeah, I think it will force me to get out and make more of an effort than I probably do right now, because the easy option is to just catch up with you in the evenings and, you know, enjoy each other's company, and it's just very easy. So I think it will push both of us out of our comfort zone, and which I think will be good. I think it will be good for both of us. Good,
because I think also what I'm watching with you is how much you're enjoying your little burgeoning female friendships. I think you know, I've watched through a lot of my childhood, as you say, like almost not having time for friendships because your 24 hours was split between sleep, career and family. You know, those were the three things that you'd be doing. And so therefore friendships just weren't a priority that I saw in your life during my childhood, whereas I've loved over the last 3 years, as you've slowed down from work a bit more, to make the time and realize the joy that these new friendships, and some of them aren't new, you know, some of them are strengthening existing friendships and taking them outside of that work context. But I've just really loved watching that. And like, I guess how have you, it potentially sounds like a dumb question, but like, how have you found creating space for friendships?
It doesn't come easy for me. I think the friendships that I've converted from work, you know, into friends has been easier, because that's been a very intentional thing that I've done there. But because I've never had lots of girlfriends, it doesn't come easy, you know, to me. But I'm lucky, you know, I'm part of a book club right now, which presents a nice opportunity for some local.
I thought you were going to say presents itself as a book club, but is more of a gossip session with the local ladies.
Yeah, I think we probably spend about 5 minutes on the book, and the rest of it is just catching up with each other. But it's lovely. It's a really lovely group of women, and there's more I would like to be able to do in terms of cultivating those kind of, friendships beyond meeting once a month, to do book club. But it is something I need to really think about, because like you, I'm also an introvert, and I enjoy my own company, and I have my dog, and I go walking, and I find all of that incredibly satisfying. But I am also recognizing as I get older, I think friendships become more and more important, and therefore I want to start to, prioritize that a bit more. So it's a big change for you and I, but I think an exciting one. And we would love to, as I said earlier, we'd love to keep sharing our experiences with you, both, Amy in her 20s, becoming a professional woman, and her as her own
woman. I love the sound of that. Oh my goodness.
And then myself, as I'm moving the other end, I'm slowing down on my career and needing to create more friends outside of my career. So we're kind of we're bookending the beginning and start and the ending of our career. So I'm excited to sort of track how we manage this transition, and we would love to hear from you if any of you've got any kind of questions that you've got around this area, challenges that you're going through. And any more of those empty nesters out there who have been through this process that have got any advice for me, I would also love to hear from you. So next episode, I thought that we might dive in deep.
Oh God.
And
what does that mean?
Well, it's partly because of a conversation you and I had, and I thought we should record that, and it was I thought we'd go for sex actually.
Okie dokie, starting off strong.
So for our second episode, I thought we might talk about how easy is it to talk about sex with your mother and with your daughter.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say, it's not just about me talking about it with you. I feel like I'm pretty open about talking about sex, so
yeah, but I think the awkwardness is probably on my side. So I thought we might dive into that for episode 2, which I think will be a lot of fun, and we'll get spicy. It's go big or go home. I think 100%. With the podcast,
give them what they want. Give the people what they want.
So we'll go there for episode 2, and we'll look forward to
hearing from you.
Yeah,
you can find us on Instagram at ChattermattersPod, and we've got an email as well, so please do email in anything that is on your mind at chattermatterspod@outlook.com.
We'll see you in a week's time.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about why chatting about sex matters so much, I guess.